I wanted to touch on George Kittle. I love the fact that you asked him in the presser about his touches. And he said,
fair question, right?
In his own words, he was like, okay, well, I haven't went into Kyle Shanahan's office. To me, in a presser, you were better off going into the office if you're going to let people like me talk about it on the internet.
Right.
To me, he was better off just saying it to Kyle behind closed doors, because to me, Jimmy is not the quarterback that's going to get it done for him.
No.
For him to get the ball.
No.
Jimmy,
you know, Debo goes into Kyle's office remember that story? Debo goes into Kyle's office every day just to talk. You think that's because he really likes Kyle, or you think it's because he's smart?
I think it's because he's a little intelligent.
I think it's because he's really smart. And so, Kittle, man, I think you're smart too. Jimmy's not the guy to talk to. You got to go above Jimmy in this hierarchy.
Yes. And I love the fact that Jimmy's hanging out with Kittle and all those things. But, I mean, he's definitely not hanging out with him in the offseason. We know that.
Doesn't return his text. So how good of a friend is he really, George?
How possibly could he be? But that's all right. Trey Lance is walking now. I love the fact that you give him this. I'm a huge Trey Lance fan, by the way. I was at the game when he got injured. It was terrible. I was yelling at fans because I knew they would cheer. I knew they would cheer for Jimmy. So I was yelling at all the fans, just pissed off, because that's a teammate at the end of the day. And
he's a lot like the second coming of Alex Smith, just not physically, just in terms of how quickly the fan base turned on him. We don't want you. Like,
instant.
Dude, you haven't given me. I've started 4 games, yo. Like, can you chill? But it's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers or Justin Fields or Jimmy. It's like, you guys are ridiculous, man. Give him a chance.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that was all I wanted to
Bears fans were patient with Justin Fields. Their patience has been rewarded.
It has been.
It has. Funny how that goes.
Nightmare.
Yeah, and same thing with the Eagles and Hurts and the Bills. You got to be paid. If you want a great quarterback, you got to trust the process. And the Niners haven't.
And they got to commit. They have to commit to him 100% on all levels, and just.
And you know what that means?
Getting
Jimmy out of. It means getting Jimmy out of the freaking building when it's time to start Trey.
Next year can't come fast enough, because I know when that moment comes and we're in that playoff situation, and I got to rely on Jimmy because Kyle only had first half of plays scheduled out. Then I'm going to be like, okay, it's time to show up, which he never does, or he's going to give it to CMC or Elijah Mitchell. But do you think Elijah Mitchell is a better running back at the end of the game when it comes to getting those tough yardage? That's what I really want to ask.
I think he's a powerful running back for a littler guy with speed. I don't think McCaffrey's particularly powerful. He's really good though, and I think if Bill Walsh were the coach, they'd be throwing to McCaffrey left and right, and he'd be a really, really dangerous weapon as a receiver. But as a running back, I think he's good, but there's like some runs he's better at than others. You want him getting outside, I think. Like his whole running game in Carolina was the zone read with Cam Newton. Now you're like, okay, so the quarterback is not a factor.
Right.
It's just get under center and pitch the ball left and right to McCaffrey. I don't like using him that way. Like I'd rather use Mitchell in that role.
Yeah, to me.
Now next year with Trey Lance, the two of them might be real deadly on that zone read.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm
hoping for.
Yes.
McCaffrey, to me, he's smaller, so he can get out to those outsides a little bit better. He's a great playmaker. And to me, when he first got to the team, I say he was the second best playmaker on the team. But I don't know. The way Debo's season been going, he might be the number one. But my favorite receiver, period.
I was going to say Ayuk, but then he fumbled and dropped. So Ayuk needs to get back.
I've been on Ayuk's high horse for like the last 2 years, trying to let people know that this is the best wide receiver on the team. Because the
Niners are going to mess around and not extend his contract, and he's going to go somewhere else.
That's going to hurt my heart.
He's going to be the next DeForest. I'm afraid he's going to be the next DeForest Buckner, and they're going to talk themselves out of him, and he's going to go somewhere with a legit top 5 quarterback
or something. Killing.